Hi, I'm James McGuire, and today we're talking about the state of cloud computing in 2021. Where are we at? Where are we going? And how can we do things better when it comes to the cloud? To discuss that, I'm joined by a leading industry expert. With me is Deepak Patil, Senior Vice President, Cloud Platforms and Solutions at Dell. Deepak, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, James. I am looking forward to the conversation.
It's interesting. I want to talk about where we are with cloud now in 2021, but you've got a pretty long background in cloud. It's sort of like your fourth inning in cloud. Tell me a little bit about that, if you would.
Sounds great. And I've been very fortunate to have been working on cloud platforms, cloud technologies, cloud customers for about 15 years now. And it's been a fantastic journey. I started with my cloud journey started with Microsoft when I was one of the early members of Microsoft Azure. And of course, at that time, even AWS was fairly nascent and fresh, yet extremely fast growing business.
Yep.
And at Microsoft, we were very motivated to build comparably challenging option for customers.
Right.
I did that for about 8 years out of my 15, 16 years at Microsoft. Then in 2015, I left Microsoft to go build the Oracle Cloud, worked with Thomas Kurian in Oracle, did that for about 3 years, and then joined the Dell Technologies family. I led the engineering technology services operations for VirtuStream, which is one of the 7 companies at that time in the Dell Technologies family of company. And then about a year and a half ago, Michael and Jeff Clark, they asked me to come over to Dell Technologies, the mothership, to build the Dell Cloud business. And the journey over the last 18 months, James, in terms of both helping shape our strategy, helping define Apex, and then really build some of the core components of our Apex platform and our offers portfolio, and really be part of this massive transformation, both in the industry as well as Dell Technologies. It's been a fantastic experience so far.
Let's see. So you definitely have. You've been there from the ground up, so to speak. With that in mind, I'd be curious to get your take. Where are we with cloud in 2021? I mean, I would have guessed back in 2012 or so that we would have gotten it all figured out by 2021. But no, there's still a surprising amount of transition, even a bit of chaos. Multi-cloud is huge. Cloud native is very much in focus. It feels to me like the dominant cloud model is hybrid cloud. It feels like the war is over and hybrid cloud is won. What is your take in terms of where are we with cloud these days?
It's a great question, and actually a very good summary of how we have traversed the last few years as well. And you're absolutely right. I mean, it's an ever-evolving landscape. I remember early days of cloud when customers were hesitant to relinquish control to the cloud providers. Then after that, there was a lot of concern about trust and security in the cloud. Then after that, there was a lot of concern around vendor locking. And then over the last few years, a lot of those concerns have been either fully mitigated or generally addressed, or customers have kind of got over it. And now we're in this mode, James, where cloud is evolving as an operating model, not a destination.
Interesting. And all right. Go ahead, please.
The operating model comes with a certain set of characteristics in terms of OpEx-based treatment of infrastructure, or democratization of software engineering tools, instant access to capacity, massive simplification of IT, delivery of resources as a service. Those characteristics of this cloud operating model can and will and should be delivered wherever customers' workloads are. Customers' workloads are going to be in their data centers. Those workloads are going to be in the colo providers' data centers. Those workloads are going to be in public cloud providers' data centers, as well as workloads are going to be at the edge. So
Right.
from core to the edge, workloads are going to span everywhere. And the responsibility and the opportunity on the cloud providers uh, heads and shoulders, including us, is ensuring that we bring cloud to wherever customers are, meet them where they're at, instead of pushing them into a specific model or a specific public cloud.
Uh-huh.
And that's really where I feel hybrid cloud matters, where acknowledge and accept the notion that workloads are going to be everywhere and bring cloud in a hybrid way to wherever customers' workloads are. And ensure that customers enjoy the core benefits of cloud so that they can focus on their business imperatives instead of worrying about which cloud provider, vendor locking, those types of things.
Right. So it's really the portrait you shaped is it's a really mixed portrait with the data centers in there. There's edge. So it's really the cloud is almost this all-encompassing environment as opposed to simply like one place, one remote server somewhere.
100%. I mean,
yes.
I mean, and you've been in this for a while. I've been doing this for a while.
Right.
8 years ago, everything was going to move to public clouds in 2 years.
Right. I remember. Yeah.
And it hasn't, and there is a reason for it. Of course, public clouds are the right destination for certain types of workloads. And a lot of certain types of workloads are going to stay in customers' data centers, and they're going to move to the edge, for example. And that's the new world that we have to make happen.
You wrote a really interesting blog post, and you said, the fastest route to hybrid cloud. And you talked about the idea of VMware on top of the Dell EMC VX Rail, which is, of course, it's a hyper converged appliance. Talk to me about how that solution or the Dell Cloud solution fits in there.
So the solution that I talked about in the blog, where we have taken our industry-leading hyperconverged infrastructure, VxRail, and we've been working with our, of course, VMware partners. VMware has been part of the Dell Technologies family. We've been working with our VMware partners on building the first and best integration between our hyperconverged infrastructure and the VMware virtualization and service lifecycle management software to really provide kind of an end-to-end cloud solution in a box for our customers. We previously called it Dell Technologies Cloud Platform, which was VxRail and VCF combined together. And now we recently relaunched it with significant modifications and additions, and we call it ePEAKS Hybrid Cloud. ePEAKS Hybrid Cloud truly represents compute, storage, virtualization, service lifecycle management, security, as well as virtualization management tools all combined together in a first and best way through joint innovation that has happened across VMware and Dell Technologies over the last multiple years. And since we launched the Dell Technologies Cloud Platform about 2 years ago, thousands of customers have used this solution, provisioned this in their data centers. And it's been a fantastic experience to see customers adopt it at a very fast clip.
So, of course, many customers are using the Dell solution along with a complete multi-cloud scenario. I'm assuming they might have 1 or 2 or 3 positions with one of the hyperscalers as well as Dell. Am I correct in thinking that?
100%.
100%.
Yeah. I mean, 100% accurate. I won't say 100% of the customers have that, but you're 100% accurate in what you said.
Right.
And I think it's also time for all of us cloud providers to acknowledge that that type of multi-cloud ecosystem is a fact of life, and we are in the middle of it right now. We expect more than 85-90% of our customers to work with multiple cloud providers. They want optionality. They want negotiation leverage. They want to leverage different providers for the strengths that those providers bring to the table. So we expect our customers to have multiple public cloud providers that they'll work with, hybrid cloud providers that they work with, as well as multiple SaaS providers, for example, that they work with.
Sure.
And anybody who takes the complexity of that entire ecosystem out for our customers is going to have massive opportunities in reshaping where cloud goes over the next decade.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Well, let's talk about the next decade, or at least the next few to several years.
Yes.
There was a lot of talk several years back that, oh, the data center is going to go away. And I think even Gartner has recently said 2018 or 2019 said almost all data center loads will be eliminated by the middle, say about around 2025. Everyone's talking about the death of the data center, but how do you see that trend fitting in with the growth of cloud, or is the data center here to go, or is it fading away?
Well, I mean, I have to answer your comment on the background that Equinix just announced opening of a new data center today. I was just sending a note to Charles Myers,
Yeah.
the CEO.
Right.
See, entire economies are moving online. I mean, if there's
Right.
one thing that COVID's kind of resulted in, it's the speed of digital transformation and modernization has only accelerated.
Right.
Massive businesses and economies are moving online.
Mm-hmm.
So everything in terms of really automation, modernization, cloudification has accelerated.
Mm-hmm.
And it reflects in the notion that public cloud providers are growing at a very fast pace. Dell Technologies, we've had our best year over last year in terms of both the consumer technologies as well as our infrastructure business and the growth of the businesses across the board.
Yes.
Equinix, the success of a company like Equinix that actually has done phenomenally well with respect to colo provision underscores the fact that the data center businesses are growing as well. So I do believe that, especially as world becomes multi-cloud, hybrid cloud, the data centers definitely are not going away.
Yeah.
What will define the success of the data centers, though, or the data center ecosystems, is the interconnect. Whoever succeeds in interconnecting the data centers will have significant influence in the future of data center, because you can't have a data center on its own island anymore. Essentially we are going to be a digital connected ecosystem where multiple clouds work together, play together, and having interconnected data centers is a fundamental prerequisite for that.
Yeah, so it's not so much a question of is the data center going away or not. It's sort of like there's this new completely interconnected world of which the data center may be part, but it's part of a larger world, and that really is the cloud world. It includes edge, IoT, it's run by AI, data analytics. It's an entire immersive ecosystem, and that is cloud computing.
You're exactly right. And the data centers are the data center providers that fail to be part of that interconnected ecosystem will potentially go away. But everybody recognizes that. Most people that I talk to, including customers with large data centers, as well as data center providers, colo providers, acknowledge that. Transformation happening inside Dell Technologies around eSPEAKS is essentially not only just acknowledgement of the opportunities through this interconnected future, but also the acknowledgement and Dell's commitment on the need for delivering trusted experience for customers. Because I think as this interconnected world gets more defined and delivered, a key component of that we fundamentally believe in inside Dell Technologies is trust. Customers are going to do business, especially in a multi-hybrid cloud world, with providers that they trust. Right. And I think that's going to be a fundamental, that has been and will continue to be a fundamental part of our focus in terms of delivering on the trust expectations our customers have. So, sorry, go ahead.
I do hear that all the time. I hear customers say, we don't want to just be sold a solution. We want a partnership because this is too complicated. Don't just sell it to us and walk away. Sell it to us and be our partner. So I think what you're saying about trust really resonates across the industry.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Thank you, James.
Deepak, thank you very much. And I totally appreciate it.
Thank you. Take care. Bye.